This event is for you. Want to reserve a booth? Visit LaytonEvents.com today. Let's embrace the beauty of growing older together. See you on July 9th at the Bigwood Event Center.
Let's get planting with seeds and started sets from Nature's Garden World. Get a head start on your garden now. Nature's has seed potatoes and all seeds, in bulk or in packets. Contact Nature's Garden World now for landscape projects, including lawn irrigation systems to secure the best crew in the business. Nature's Garden World is now open Monday through Saturdays, 9 to 5. Call in or stop in at Nature's Garden World, Highway 210 East in Fergus Falls for everything for a beautiful summer.
It's Morning Talk on News Talk 1250 KBRF, brought to you by Pioneer Care and Fergus Falls Monument Company. Now, here's Mary Dolan and Dave Bishop.
Good Monday morning. It is, of course, 10 after 9. Hoping everybody's having a great start to the day. How's it going, Mary?
Great, and I hope everybody had a nice Easter. We had a nice time with my mom, and then we headed out to the lake. And
nice.
I know, and water is on, cabin is clean, bedding is washed. It's pretty much ready for move-in.
Pretty much.
Yeah, so just need to, the coffee maker is in place. That's job number one.
Of course.
Second only to the coffee maker, probably the TV, at least for John. So those things, though, and a heater. Those three are kind of the go-tos when you first move in, because we don't have heat in the cabin. It's just a little, tiny little seasonal cabin. But it's always exciting, and I was thinking yesterday, doing things that, not everyone loves to do, and that's cleaning, but somehow in the spring at the lake, even cleaning is fun because you know what's in store.
I've gotten as far as we put all the patio stuff inside the cabin, and then the grill. So I've taken the grill out, I've taken the table out, the chairs. That is about as far as I've gotten, because the last time I was out there was still ice on the water.
Okay.
And we've got an ice heave that we got to get fixed, so I can't put stuff in the water until that's out. And then I find out, I was talking to Derek Sidian in our KBRF radio.com news. Apparently there's a beaver dam, and it's plugging up the water going into Battle Lake. And
great.
They're sitting here thinking that's why the water level is so low. I'm like, well, put him over on the, towards Glendalough side, block it in.
I know, can't they get rid of that?
Yeah.
Is that against all the rules?
Well, they're working on it, but we're looking into it as a news team. So
okay.
But the water level in KBRF
and
is
then,
low.
And then the water could, it's going to look better for sure.
It's got to come up. Last year we didn't even put in our pontoon.
We're pretty low, but not as low as I had expected. We maybe have not quite a foot of beach. So that's pretty good for us.
We got about 5 feet between the water level and the rocks.
Okay.
Normally it's like 2 feet up on the rocks.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so you're way down. Well, anyway, looks like we might see some rain in the next couple of days, which I think would be welcome for everyone.
I think everybody would be very welcome.
For everything. Gonna just clean things up. It'll, knock down the dust in your lawns and around your place. I saw a lot of people out on their garden tractors and, thatching their lawns and that sort of thing already this year. So, but we have to remember, what is it, the 21st of April?
April 21st.
It's still early.
Yes.
So I feel like we're getting into the cabin pretty early, and we're not in because, I've got more travel plans. Gonna follow after a grandson he's graduating from Grand Canyon University. So I'm on the road again this week.
Yes.
So anyway, we just decided let's just wait till things slow down just a little bit and probably get out there early in May or so. But anyway, it's all ready. But you know what I discovered?
What?
So I'm putting the clean bedding on the bed, and I thought, where is that cold breeze coming from?
Uh-oh.
I look over, and there is about maybe a half inch, maybe a little more gap in the window, which seems like might have been open all winter long.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, well, it didn't do any harm, other than making the white blinds really dirty. you know, and a lot of vacuuming and that sort of thing. But other than that, and it doesn't matter if it's cold because there's no heat and it's cold all winter. But yeah, so evidently I missed blocking one window.
Oh.
Yeah. So anyway, but that was the worst. You know, you always worry about turning on the water, especially in an old place like we have, and then the water heater, which is equally as old, way older than we've been there 20 years now.
We've replaced our water heater probably about 5 years ago.
Really?
Ours died, and so we had to replace it.
Well, we've been in this cabin 20 years, and I have no idea how long this water heater was there before that.
Oh, wow.
But anyway, so you kind of do this, cross your fingers, flip it on, and then sit and wait and hope for the best. But had lots of good hot water, so everything seems to be working. So anyway, that was kind of a fun thing to do yesterday. Even though it's cleaning the cabin, and somehow that feels fun.
It definitely is the beginning of spring. I know we've got to get out and start working on ours, but it'll be
Put
fun.
some stuff in the fridge. That always makes it feel like somebody lives there, you know. So anyway, we're kind of set, and that was kind of a nice way to round out yesterday. Had a beautiful Easter service, a couple of them actually, 3 services at our church, and I don't know, Easter Sunday, there's just nothing like it.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, hopefully everyone enjoyed their Easter holiday. We got a whole big box full of Reese's Easter eggs, the big fat eggs, you know, and we haven't had a chance to do Easter with our grandkids, so we're going to save that when everybody comes back from this graduation, and we're going to have another Easter maybe next weekend. So that's how that's going to go. Well, the big news, of course, the Pope passed away overnight.
Yeah.
And interesting, he greeted the crowds yesterday and had some comments for them. He was pretty active. I mean, as active as you can be in a wheelchair and recovering from double pneumonia. But he was in and around, and people saw him multiple times during Holy Week. So I think everybody thought he was on the mend. And not long after his last spoken words to the faithful there, he passed away during the night. So now the conclave.
Yep.
Well, first of all, there will be a 4 to 6 day gap between now and a funeral. And then once that is done, then they begin the conclave. So there are what are they? I forget.
Cardinals.
Cardinals. Okay, I was going to say bishops. Cardinals traveling from all over the world now.
Then you got to watch for the smoke.
Yep, and then they will all gather, and it looks like, from what I read this morning, there's a short list of about a dozen names that will probably be lifted up right away. And then I think it's something like, it's a fascinating process. And it's hundreds of years old.
Well,
and I think
thousands.
maybe.
It goes back like 33, so.
The whole conclave thing?
I think so.
Okay, I must have read that wrong. Anyway, it really is fascinating. They will vote, I think something like, they take 4 votes every day. And then again, if the people outside see the black smoke, that means they haven't chosen anyone. They see the white smoke.
There's a new
and there will be a new pope. Yeah. So, and the other interesting thing I found was all the cardinals that will be in the running, if you will, have to be, or generally are, older than 65 and under 80. And they say that under 65 is too young, and that is because they don't want another pope. They don't want a pope to last for 30 years or 20 years. And so that's the reason that they're a little bit older when they become the pope. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
So I guess you could talk about term limits instead, but whatever.
Well, they're granted to life.
Right. Oh, that's right. Except didn't the last one bailed out,
down.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Well, anyway, it's a very interesting process, and I'm sure that that's all we'll read and hear about and see for the next week or so. So that was a big newsmaker over the weekend. Let's see, Louisiana, Missouri, and Virginia have each reported their first measles cases. We're hearing a little bit more about that. There was a small plane crash in Illinois resulting in the deaths of 4 people. The aircraft departed from Menominee, Wisconsin, and crashed about 10:15 a.m. The NTSB is investigating the incident. The governor expressed condolences and urged the public and their cooperation as roads were closed for some time. So anyway, that was a terrible accident over the weekend. A slow-moving storm as well brought heavy rain, hail, and tornadoes to Texas and Oklahoma, causing 2 fatalities and damaging homes. The severe weather with 17 reported events left areas reeling from extensive flooding and destruction. The system also hit a town still recovering from a previous tornado. They've had terrible weather.
Yeah.
And you talk about Tornado Alley. It sure has been that.
Yep.
And anyway, it looks like more of that coming. And let's see, DHL Express. They will halt deliveries over $800 due to cost increases in the U.S. customs regulations, of course, linked to the administration's tariffs. The change, effective now, will impact shipments from China to the U.S., causing delays. So DHL Express is a transportation company. So what is your view on the whole tariff thing? Do you think that some of these countries, which we've already seen, first of all, they dig their heels in, and then they say, well, wait a second, we'd like to negotiate.
I'm all for the reciprocal tariffs, where if they're charging us 10 or 20%, we charge them 20%. So it's equal tariffs.
Me too.
I'm not sure what he's doing with China is a good idea. I mean, I'd just
What
go.
are they at, about 125, or is it over 2? I mean, it's up there, and it depends
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it is ridiculous.
But I like the reciprocal tariffs. I can't argue against that. However, some of these other ones where he's more of a punitive tariff.
Who will have to give in first? Let's just say United States and China. If the United States stops buying a lot of things from China, it will crush their economy, and their economy will be crushed a lot faster than ours will.
Yeah.
So who's going to give in first? This is kind of a game of chicken.
It is. And I don't like that when they're playing with people's lives and livelihoods.
Especially when we've got two guys who have some pretty darn big egos. Yeah. Now, I appreciate that President Trump is trying to bring, some
the trade imbalance.
It has been such an imbalance for so many years, and the United States has been losing so much money because of it. I appreciate trying to get some of that money back, but
this ain't the way.
Maybe there are better ways to do it. But is China I don't know, has Canada backed down at all?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. It seems like every day there's a new story.
Yeah, I didn't think going after going after Canada and Mexico, I don't think was the right choice either.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, anyway. Okay, and the other thing that is in the news, and I heard so much about it because we traveled about a week ago, and every time we checked in, if I used my driver's license when I was going through security, everyone, and we had a couple of legs both ways, everyone said, hey, this is coming to an end. You can't use your driver's license to fly anymore as of May 7th. And we both have passports, and we have like little passport cards as well as our book. And so those passport cards are nice. It's the same size as your license, and you can fly with that. So if I used that, then they didn't say anything to me. Now, going forward, you and I talked about this. You have a passport.
Yep.
We can fly on our passports.
Yep.
We don't have to bother with the real ID.
Nope.
And here's what I talked to a friend of ours over the weekend, and this is what he thinks, and I think he's absolutely right. In fact, he saw his daughter have this experience in Florida. So Florida, first of all, a while ago said, hey, you have to have your real ID by such and such a date. So everybody in Florida scrambled to get those. Well, now fast forward a couple of years, his daughter went in to get one in Florida, and no trouble at all. It was just like she applied. It was just like getting your regular license.
Yeah.
So all that hubbub and all the stuff and all the documentation and all that stuff kind of went by the wayside. That's what I think is going to happen. I think they're going to have this huge influx
Yeah.
of people right now, and there's going to be lines all over the place.
I know my parents went through and got the real ID, and it was a huge hassle.
Well, I had to replace my driver's license, I don't know, a year or so ago. And then I was going to get the real ID, and they looked at me and said, "Don't even bother. It is so much work. Just go get your passport. It's a lot easier." And we had a passport in about 2.5 weeks. It was the easiest thing. So I think I'm going to skip it, and I'm just hopeful that 3 years down the road, when my license is about to expire, I can go in, and it will not be such a big deal to get a real ID. So that's my plan. I don't know. But having that passport card is really nice, and your passport lasts for 10 years.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm going to be flying on, at least for a while. So anyway, I don't know what else we would need that real ID for. I mean, you don't need it to drive your car.
No, and the thing I get a kick out of is everybody's like, well, you know, it's more secure and everything. Well, that Luigi
Mangione, yes.
his fake ID was a real ID.
Oh my goodness.
It had the star, and it's like, it's just ridiculous.
And if you're wondering
really
what we're talking about, if you're trying to remember, gee, did I get that or not? Because you've had the opportunity to upgrade for a number of years now, yeah. But it has that little star in the corner, and that if you have that, then you already have the real ID. But people are panicked now. You know, they kept pushing that date back. You have to have it by this date. You have to have it by this date.
I mean, they started it in 2001.
It was a long time ago. And so now you really do have to have it as of May 7th.
Yeah.
Starting May 7th, you can't fly without it. So unless you have a passport. So there's that.
Passport it is.
All right, coming up on 9:30, break for some market informations. We'll talk with Mary at the American Legion and find out what's up there for the week, and some more stuff coming your way as we return on Morning Talk.
Back with more Morning Talk with Mary Dolan and Dave Bishop. Brought to you by Pioneer Care and Fergus Falls Monument Company. After the markets on News Talk 1250 KBRF. Depend on it.
Age is more than just a number, it's a journey worth celebrating. Join News Talk 1250 KBRF for Celebrate Aging, presented by Pioneer Care on Wednesday, July 9th at the Bigwood Event Center in Fergus Falls. Discover resources, enjoy live entertainment, and connect with experts on healthy, happy aging. Whether you're attending or showcasing your services, this event is for you. Want to reserve a booth? Visit LaytonEvents.com today. Let's embrace the beauty of growing older together. See you on July 9th at the Bigwood Event Center.
KBRF presents Where to Eat, the culinary adventure, sponsored by Dandelion and Burdock and Service Food in Fergus Falls.
Hi, I'm Zach Daniels.
And I'm Dave Bishop, your guide to the region's culinary treasures.
Join us as we explore various restaurants, uncover delicious meals, and highlight each restaurant's signature dish.
Experience diverse cuisine types, unique atmospheres, and must-try dishes. Check it out on KBRFradio.com and the Fergus Now app.
New episodes air every first Friday of the month. Where to Eat, powered by Dandelion and Burdock and Service Food of Fergus Falls.
I'm Derek Sidian with KBRFradio.com News. Join me live every Friday on KBRFradio.com or the Fergus Now app for the weekly news recap, where I recap this week's hottest local news and you catch up on what you might have missed. The live stream starts at 12:30 and will be available to watch after the stream ends. The KBRFradio.com weekly news recap is brought to you by Fergus Falls Monument, online at foreverstonememorial.com, memorials that matter.
Keeping you company out on the lakes, the Minnesota Twins, and News Talk 1250 AM KBRF. Depend on it.
Hey, Twins fans, it's Chris Atterbury. No baseball today in Twins territory. Twins trying to collect their thoughts. They'll get back after it again tomorrow. 6:40 first pitch, 6 o'clock airtime. Join me and Dan Gladden as Bailey Ober faces the White Sox right here on your home for Twins baseball.
News Talk 1250 AM KBRF. Depend on it.
Unique farming operations need unique financial solutions. Ag Country Farm Credit Services offers customized financing that fits any size farm, ranch, or agribusiness. The next time you're in the market for more land, equipment, facilities, or maybe even an operating loan, contact the team at Ag Country. They know agriculture and will work for you. Ag Country. Focused on ag, focused on you. Ag Country is an equal opportunity lender.
Markets this hour brought to you by Ag Country Farm Credit Services, a customer-owned cooperative.
Good morning. Market update on the Red River Farm Network. I'm Randy Conan. Grain markets right now are trading mostly mixed. The front end of the corn market up slightly. Deferred December contract down a half penny as well. Soybeans trading 3 to 5 lower, and we're 1 to 5 lower across the wheat complex here this morning. Bauer Trading market analyst Ben Cash says the outside markets are weak, and that's weighing on these grains.
Equity markets, and now we're slipping, quite a bit weaker here today. In equities opened higher for cattle, but just the negativity on those equities is spilling over into livestock, and recession fears, that sort of thing, still weighing. Cattle on feed report, I say it was a little neutral and negative. Some of those numbers came in higher than expected here on Thursday's report.
All right, very good. And the outside markets pretty much weighing across the entire complex here today.
Crude oil market down $1.80. We got stock market down 700. S&P down 115. Gold making new record highs. So there's a lot of negativity on the outside that's spilling over into the grain markets today. We've also got some pretty good rains coming for the wheat belt, and that leans a little bit negative. Corn and soybeans. Corn just slightly higher there on the front end, roughly unchanged on the deferreds, but looks like a wet 2 weeks. It does lean kind of supportive to corn, maybe a little negative beans, but I think beans are more trading off of kind of the negative impacts with the Chinese situation.
You're listening to the Red River Farm Network.
Don't miss the latest edition of Fielding Questions, a podcast produced in collaboration with Ag Country Farm Credit Services and the Red River Farm Network. In this week's edition of Fielding Questions, Ag Country's Vice President of Succession and Retirement, Russ Tweeten, talks about the importance of having a succession or retirement plan.
The first step is to make sure that the estate plan is set up properly to ensure that if all of a sudden both parents are gone, that farm can continue. And maybe a successor has to buy them out. Is that buyout affordable? That's not the only thing we look at, but we start with a solid estate plan. But, with the size and scale of these operations, we're starting to see a need to really get at least a discussion, maybe when our senior farmers are in their early to mid-50s, just to have the what-ifs laid out on the table and how is all this going to work if the unexpected happens.
Don't miss Fielding Questions, a podcast produced in collaboration with Ag Country Farm Credit Services and the Red River Farm Network.
I'm Mark Oppold with an American Agriculture History Minute, brought to you by Resurge from Helena. Improve nutrient efficiency and maximize your valuable fertilizer investment this season with Resurge. Visit helenaagra.com to learn more. In New York State, the fur pelt export trade to Europe flourished in the early 1700s and added additional wealth to that region. After 1720, mid-Atlantic farming was stimulated by the international demand for wheat. A massive population explosion in Europe drove wheat prices up. By 1770, a bushel of wheat cost twice as much as it did in 1720. Farmers also expanded their production here of flaxseed and corn. That's today's American Agriculture History Minute. I'm Mark Oppold.
May wheat Minneapolis is down 3 3/4 cents, 602.5. Chicago May wheat down 5.5, Kansas City May wheat down 3.5. May corn, half penny higher, 4.82 3/4. December corn down a half penny, 4.65.5. May soybeans down 3.5, 10.33. November soybeans down 4.5, 10.28. In Winnipeg, May canola 10 cents a metric ton higher, 6.68 even Canadian. June live cattle up 22 cents, 204.30. August is down 15 cents. The May feeder cattle down 55 cents at 286.30. August down $1.40. May lean hogs 45 cents higher at 90.85. June hogs down 2 cents. The Dow Jones Industrial Average down 785 points. This is the Red River Farm Network.
Today on Hot Talk with the Ox, right away hear the latest Trump news, including whether Secretary of State Marco Rubio is actually willing to move on from peace talks with Ukraine and Russia. The Minnesota legislature returns this week. We may have an enticing announcement from the Republicans today, but right away at 2:06, test your recall of last week's shows on Heard It on Hot Talk. See you for Hot Talk with the Ox today from 2 to 5 on KBRF.
What's the Ox say?
I'm Jessica at the Fergus Falls Monument Company. I'm the first person you see when you come through the door, and I also talk to customers every day on the phone. Many of them find choosing a memorial ahead of time is convenient and works best when there is time to plan and think about it. Planning ahead not only gets you the everlasting memorial of your choice, it also helps your family through the grieving process. At Fergus Falls Monument, we can help you plan ahead and choose a memorial made right here locally. Call or stop in or visit us online at foreverstonememorials.com.
I'm Derek Sidian with KBRFradio.com News. Join me live every Friday on KBRFradio.com or the Fergus Now app for the weekly news recap, where I recap this week's hottest local news and you catch up on what you might have missed. The live stream starts at 12:30 and will be available to watch after the stream ends. The KBRFradio.com weekly news recap is brought to you by Fergus Falls Monument, online at foreverstonememorial.com, memorials that matter.
Age is more than just a number, it's a journey worth celebrating. Join News Talk 1250 KBRF for Celebrate Aging, presented by Pioneer Care on Wednesday, July 9th at the Bigwood Event Center in Fergus Falls. Discover resources, enjoy live entertainment, and connect with experts on healthy, happy aging. Whether you're attending or showcasing your services, this event is for you. Want to reserve a booth? Visit LaytonEvents.com today. Let's embrace the beauty of growing older together. See you on July 9th at the Bigwood Event Center.
News Talk 1250 KBRF. Listen anytime, any place with the Fergus Now app on your phone. For today, warming up to 64, sunny, a little bit of rain possible tonight into tomorrow, 63 for tomorrow. Wednesday, 62, a little bit of rain possible Wednesday night into Thursday. Right now, fair skies 50, and it is 9:37 on Morning Talk. And it's time for one of my favorite segments. It's Two Marys and a Dave.
And we say good morning to Mary out at the American Legion. Good morning, Mary.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
Well, good. Hope you had a good Easter weekend and got to put your feet up and relax a little bit yesterday.
Not really, but it was still a good weekend. And it's even more beautiful today.
Oh, it is absolutely beautiful. So tell us what's cooking out at the American Legion this Wednesday through Saturday.
Well, we're open Wednesday through Saturday with dine-in beginning at 3 and going until 8, and our carry-out starts Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, starting at 11 and goes until 8, and then again on Saturday from 3 till 8.
Okay.
And our Wednesday special on Wednesday is lasagna with a garden salad, some garlic toast, and a treat.
All right. That always sounds good. I got an inaudible nice from Dave on the other end.
I like the lasagna.
I couldn't hear him, but I could see that he mouthed the, oh, nice.
Nice.
Because you guys
Good.
make great.
Well, we'll see you for lasagna then, Dave.
Great lasagna, yeah. So that's what's coming up for the Wednesday special, but so many things cooking out there. And I know now you'll start to get into maybe some more springy kinds of things, salads and desserts and that sort of thing too.
Oh, sure. Things change all the time. So we try to come up with new things all the time. So I don't know what next week is, but that's a whole week away. So
Yeah,
we'll
it is.
figure that out then.
You don't have to worry about it. But of course, you still have some time, plenty of time, in fact, in April, to take advantage of those delicious dessert specials. Tell us about them.
They've been selling so well. We have a strawberry ice cream dessert, a chocolate cake with chocolate frosting, and a sour cream and raisin pie for our features for
Wow.
April. And we have all of our regular desserts as well, but those are the 3 things that we're featuring. So they're here
Okay.
just for the month. So if you're hungry for them, you got a little bit of time left.
Okay, that sounds great. People love sour cream raisin pie, don't they?
It's kind of generational. If your
Is
mom
it?
and dad liked it, you probably won't.
Okay.
But, the next generation might. So it's kind of skips a generation, I think, in there. But
well, they all
it's very
sound
popular.
They all sound fabulous. And what can be better than chocolate topped with chocolate in that cake? Just sounds great.
Not much, but that strawberry ice cream dessert, that's pretty amazing
good
too.
too?
So I
Oh
think
my
I think you got to
gosh.
try them all.
Okay, well, that sounds great. And we still have a number of days to do that, all the rest of April. So, all right, don't forget, lasagna is the Wednesday special this week. And we always look forward to Wednesdays because then we know that we have the rest of the week to come and dine with you out there at American Legion. So, and also, let's talk about that baseball fundraiser too.
Yes, the waffle feed is for our baseball team. It's taking place on May 4th, and it's here at the club. It's from 8 to 11. So make sure you make a note and put it on your calendar or whatever you have to do to remember. But we'd love to see you here. We welcome you. The baseball players and their parents will be here helping, so it'll just be a good time for all. So mark it on your calendar, May 4th from 8 to 1 at the Legion.
We did that last year, and it was a good time.
You said it was just fabulous. Yeah. Oh, those Belgian waffles are so good too. Okay, so mark that date on the calendar, May 4th.
May 4th it is.
Okay, Mary, well, we wish you a great week. What is the number to call if we need to get anything ordered up, including that Wednesday special?
Give us a call at 739-4633.
All right, Mary, have a great week.
You as well.
All right,
Thank you.
bye-bye. Mary
Bye-bye.
from the American Legion and, Belgian waffle. I would take one of
I'm
those
looking forward to that.
about now.
We did that last year. We had a good time.
You're supporting the American Legion baseball team. And I think we don't realize that there's a significant amount of cost in, keeping that going. And who doesn't love a good American Legion baseball game, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, and I think it would be fun for you to bring your kids too, especially if you've got baseball players at your house, because these American Legion baseball players will be there. And it's a good opportunity for your kids to kind of rub elbows with them too. I think they would appreciate that.
Anytime they get to rub elbows with the older kids.
Yeah, they love that.
Important.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I was talking about graduation from college. Well, here is a story. There is a 10-year-old. Her name is Alyssa Perales. She is about to graduate from college with 2 associate degrees. She's 10.
Wow.
Wow is right. The young California scholar has a GPA real close to 4.0 and will receive titles in science and math. Oh my goodness. It's not like she's doing underwater basket weaving. This is the real deal, science and math. It's very fun to me, she said, almost as fun as playing outside or riding a bike. Oh my goodness. She said of receiving an education, I just enjoy learning. By age 5, she was already doing algebra.
Wow.
Oh, yuck.
I'm 47 and I hate algebra.
I hated it. I hated math, period. She will be Crafton Hills College, the college's youngest graduate with 2 associate degrees.
I hope at 10 she was the youngest.
Oh my gosh, yes. Well, you know what? I just hope she gets to live kind of a sort of normal life. I mean, what do you do when you've graduated? Well, what happens to the rest of your, at age 10, what are you, a 3rd grader? I don't even know anymore. But so what happens to the rest of your...
No, you'd be like a 5th grader.
5th grader. Okay. So, but what happens to the rest of your grade school?
Well, it's not like
she
can get a job. I mean, she's 10.
I
You're
know.
going to be 16 and then 18.
I know, but you can't really take college courses if you haven't completed your high school courses. So what do you do with a brilliant kid like that?
Well, I suppose she's going to go for a PhD or master's.
Wow. She has a 2-year, these are 2-year degrees now.
Yeah.
They're associate degrees. So now she'll have to work on her BA, I guess. Well, anyway. Okay, in Arizona, a bartender has gone viral on TikTok after claiming that she has spotted recession indicators just by being at work. March and April are usually our highest months in Scottsdale. I can attest to that. I've been to Scottsdale in March and April, and it's crazy. But anyway, she said, now we are literally just standing around.
Wow.
She said her bar is not busy and customers are tipping less. It's about to be a roller coaster ride, she said. While the United States is not officially in a recession, consumer confidence is at the lowest it has been in 4 years, and they're feeling it at the bar.
And again, we elected this administration because we thought they'd fix the economy.
Well, like I keep saying, it's just been a few short months here.
Yeah.
Let's just tap the brakes and patience, grasshopper, right?
Yes.
Okay, one more story, and I have to cut out a little bit early today to make it to a funeral. QR codes at restaurants. Do you like
Okay.
them or hate them?
It
hate 'em.
depends. I'd rather have a menu than a QR code.
I would too. I just hate if I have to take my phone out just to order food, I want to go somewhere else. And they say, they did it during COVID, and now they're saying could be here to stay.
There's one aspect where I do really like it is because they're often changing their their tap beer list,
Oh.
especially if they get a big lineup.
Okay, well, just do it for beer, and then I don't have to worry about it.
There you go.
Yeah, all right. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and Derek is going to sit in and finish up for me here. So thanks, Derek, for doing that. And we'll talk again tomorrow. So have a great day.
Age is more than just a number. It's
Thanks
a
for
journey worth
sitting in.
celebrating. Join News Talk 1250 KBRF for Celebrate Aging, presented by Pioneer Care on Wednesday, July 9th at the Bigwood Event Center in Fergus Falls. Discover resources, enjoy live entertainment, and connect with experts on healthy, happy aging. Whether you're attending or showcasing your services, this event is for you. Want to reserve a booth? Visit LaytonEvents.com today. Let's embrace the beauty of growing older together. See you on July 9th at the Bigwood Event Center.
It's News Talk 1250 KBRF. Listen anytime, any place with the Fergus Now app on your phone. It is 9:46 and currently sitting in at 51 degrees. And joining me now, I've got Derek sitting. We'll turn the camera over on Derek. Now we'll turn on his microphone.
Well, that might help.
But we had to get you out of the newsroom and bring you back onto the camera.
Yep, here I am. Always happy to be here.
Well, how was your weekend?
It was good. I actually got some stuff done at home and was still relaxing. I was really surprised at how relaxed I was despite doing laundry all weekend long.
Yes, there is nothing worse than the dreaded laundry pile. I mean, I remember back when all three boys were living at home. Now we've just got the one, and it was never ending. Well, a Soyuz capsule carrying 2 Russians and an American landed in Kazakhstan, concluding their 7-month mission on the International Space Station. The crew returned safely after 220 days in space, completing 3,520 orbits around the Earth. NASA astronaut Dan Pettit marked his 70th birthday on the day of the return. Now, would you ever do that? If you had the opportunity and they're like, hey, Derek, we're going to send you up in space and you're going to be on the space station for 220 days, would you do it?
I don't think I would. I really don't. I think if I was younger, I'd be like, oh, yeah. But now I'm just like...
Younger, you're 23.
Well, still, like, when I was a kid, I don't understand how the world works. I mean, some argue that I still don't understand how the world works, but I feel like I have a pretty good grip on reality now. And I was just like, no, I don't want to be up in the floating nothingness. I don't like feeling that kind of uncomfortable. So I think I'd pass.
I think it would be very interesting if when I was younger, maybe your age, I might have said yes. But then again, I'm 6'6" and I take up a lot of room.
Yeah, it
and
doesn't
I've seen
take
those
much.
capsules. I remember when I was a little kid, we went down to Houston, and so I saw the NASA museum down there, and that's when they had like the Apollo capsules and stuff. And I'm looking at that, and I was a little kid going, man, I'd go crazy if I was in there. I do realize that the Orion capsule and the Dragon capsules are a little bit bigger than the old Apollo capsules, because I saw all of them a couple months ago when we were down in Florida. We went to NASA and got to see all that, but wow. I'm slightly claustrophobic, so I would go crazy.
See, I'm not very claustrophobic, so I think I wouldn't have an issue with that. It's realizing what the just absolute weightlessness of space is like. I don't want to feel that. I don't want to. It seems very weird. I wouldn't mind like trying to get oriented to it.
You go on the vomit comet?
Oh, no thanks.
You want to do that?
I don't think so.
Well, that's how they get used to weightlessness.
Yeah, no, that's exactly it's like I'll just pass on all of it. I've got enough I want to do here on Earth. I don't need to go up into space. I'll leave that to the astronauts.
For those that don't know what the Vomit Comet is, it's a plane that's got a padded interior. There might be some seats for them, for takeoff and landing, but the astronauts go there and the plane goes straight up and then straight down, and it goes at the speed that you're falling. So it's like zero gravity inside the airplane. And so that's kind of their first little check on, can they handle zero gravity? And it's like 20 seconds at a time where you go up and then you go down, you go up, then you go down.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
And obviously some people might not get too used to it because it is nicknamed the Vomit Comet.
Yeah, props to astronauts who can deal with that. I'm not interested at all. That's one of those things where it's like I don't think I'd ever be interested in that.
Well, it's interesting because we do have a astronaut that came from here, Karen Nyberg, Vining. So that was kind of cool. Henning graduate and was there. And then I know we had one of the psychiatrists from the Apollo astronauts. He used to live on West Battle Lake, not too far from me.
Oh, interesting.
So it was kind of interesting. I got to meet him a couple times when I was a little kid. So yeah, it was a lot of people in the space industry around here.
Yeah, well, speaking of space, I don't know if you heard, but last weekend was Star Wars Celebration.
Ah, yes.
Yep, they held a big event in Japan. They were announcing a lot of cool things. Well, one of the things is that Hayden Christensen confirmed his return as Anakin Skywalker for Ahsoka Season 2.
Oh.
Christensen, who initially portrayed Anakin in the prequel films, also appeared as the character in Obi-Wan Kenobi and Season 1 of Ahsoka. He said, "There's not much I can share, but Anakin will be back for Season 2.
Is he Anakin or is he Darth Vader?
Does not say, though based on Ahsoka Season 1, I will say he's most likely just playing Anakin.
Okay. Kind of interesting. I guess I never saw Ahsoka.
Yeah, it was a good show. I really enjoyed it as a fan of not only the sort of typical Star Wars movies, but also some of the animated shows. They really crossed over all of that with that show, and it's really fun. The episode that Hayden Christensen is in is a very, very fun episode to watch. Seeing
is it a flashback or?
Yeah, it's so the premise of Ahsoka is Anakin's Padawan during the Clone Wars. So between movies 2 and 3 between Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith, and there's stuff that happens. There's a whole animated show about it. But essentially, the important part is he is her master. And so when she has an issue, she ends up going kind of into the Force and has to learn new lessons from him. And so he takes them back through flashbacks as a teenager in the Clone Wars. And it was really cool just to see the two of them interacting and just watching Hayden Christensen. He's a fantastic actor. And I don't think a lot of people didn't give him enough credit when he was during the early 2000s,
the prequel,
while the prequels were happening.
Because those were awful.
I grew up on those, and I think one thing that a lot of people forget is that those movies are meant for children. It's always meant for children, so there tends to be an older generation of fans that absolutely hates whatever's new coming out. But
I waited in line for 14 hours for the first episode.
Well, that was your first problem.
Well, it was supposed to be groundbreaking when we wanted to see the midnight showing of it, and we went up to Fargo, saw it at Safari, and yeah, it was kind of ugly. What else do we have coming up on entertainment wise? As we not just as we talk about Star Wars, but coming up on movie wise, what do we have coming up in the next couple weeks?
Oh, next couple weeks
or months.
I know May is going to be a very big month. Marvel Studios is releasing Thunderbolts, which is sort of this ragtag group of not quite heroes, not quite villains, teaming up against a powerful villain. Also in Disney, they are releasing the live-action remake of Lilo and Stitch.
Oh, that's fast. I'm coming right on the heels of Snow White.
Yes. Yeah, it's a really, really close corners there. I believe Lilo and Stitch was originally going to be a movie only for Disney Plus, but then eventually they decided to release it in theaters. So I think that goes to show that they're feeling pretty confident about it to make that switch. They don't do that with a whole lot of properties. Coming up into the summer months, we've got a lot of superhero movies. DC's Superman, directed by James Gunn, who has done a lot of great work in the past few years. And one that just came out that was kind of interesting is Sinners, from director Ryan Coogler and star Michael B. Jordan's original R-rated vampire thriller. It conquered the box office in its opening weekend, edging out a Minecraft movie. With glowing reviews and the duo's star powers, Sinners raked in an impressive $45.6 million, making the highest debut for an original film since Jordan Peele's Us in 2019.
Oh, wow.
Despite projections for a third consecutive weekend at number one, a Minecraft movie settled for second place with $41.3 million, and in third, The King of Kings, an animated faith-based film depicting the life of Jesus, earned a substantial $17 million due to the Easter holiday weekend boost. It's kind of sad that on Easter, Jesus didn't even rank number one. I think that's...
Well, it was animated.
It's animated. There's a lot of deterrent there, but I think it's kind of very sadly telling of where we are as a society that is sitting at number 3 under a movie called Sinners and a Minecraft movie on Easter weekend.
Well, coming up on 10 o'clock, Derek, I thank you for joining us and filling in for Mary Dolan as she had to take off a little early today. It is News Talk 1250 KBRF. We'll be back with the Morning Talk tomorrow morning at 10 after 9. Morning Talk brought to you by our friends at Pioneer Care and at Fergus Monument.